Alrighty, time for another daily. We've got Rising Sun and Allies. What a contemporary kingdom. Okay, so for draw, there's Emissary, Litter, Rice Broker. If it trashes an action, you're not really net drawing if you trash treasure, even though it says +2. Artist, Poet, if it connects, and I think that's it for the landscapes. Receive Tribute, Desert Guides, and Good Harvest. Good Harvest in this kingdom is activated by playing Poet 5 times. Okay. Villages, Litter, Merchant Camp, Town, Contract. Trashing, Modify, and Rice Broker. And plus buy. Town says plus buy. Good Harvest can make all the treasures say plus buy. And then there's Modify for gains. Okay. What's the Emissary gives you favors for Desert Guides. Not the most impactful thing ever, but it is a counter to Skirmisher. If they discard you down to 3 cards in hand, you can just use Desert Guides to get back up to 5 again. So, looks like a pretty run-of-the-mill engine to me, I would say. Probably the biggest thing lacking here is a strong payload card. Probably just playing with at least one copy of most of the treasures for Good Harvest purposes, and then modifying the end game. I have the 2/5, which seems better. In fact, it seems a lot better with Desert Guides around because I can just pitch the $2 hand, which I will do now, and purchase a 5, which should probably be Modify. Emissary would not be a terrible choice either, but I'd rather get thin. Uh, Receive Tribute. Let me think about this. It seems quite good here, I think, if you can activate it. There's a wide diversity of cards that I'd be happy to have in my deck, which means there's liable to be 3 or more that I don't have a copy of in play already. In particular, Artist is a very expensive card, and Receive Tribute does not care about costs at all. So you pay 5, you can get an Artist for free on top of 2 other things. I think you tend to have to aim towards making Receive Tribute work, though. So keeping that in mind, what's the best way to get there? Modify 2 things for gains, or modify something and play a town for plus buy and then buy 2 things. Doesn't seem that hard. I should keep an eye out for that. I'll start with modify. Takes a poet. Good Harvest being active early will also make early Receive Tribute quite viable because I'll have plus buy from the coppers. So maybe I should aid and abet the bot in activating this. If I take a poet as well, we'll blaze through those sun tokens. And then all it takes is like a modify and 4 coppers. Well, you'd have to have a 6-card hand. But with very minimal effort, I think I could get to Receive Tribute once Good Harvest is active. So I'm going to gain Poet. And I think silver seems better than nothing here. I surely want at least 1 copy. I suppose I'll take a second one. Bot gets its modify. I have 6. Probably this ought to be a Rice Broker. The Emissary also looks reasonable. Take a second. Poet now. And 1 more silver. Silver seem alright with Poet in the deck. I'd actually just trash 1 here for double 5s. Can do Litter plus Emissary, for example. I've activated Good Harvest, but unfortunately, I won't get the nice Receive Tribute play this turn. 1 more Modify, 1 more Litter, 1 more Rice Broker. I do have a lot of coppers left. A lot of reasonable options. I'm gonna take 1 more Rice Broker. Final answer. Wouldn't. I imagine I'll run out of coppers. I'll probably keep the last copper, in fact, because the last copper is functionally a silver. It also says plus buy. And then at some point I can modify the Rice Brokers into golds. And this should activate here. In fact, am I hitting pin, perhaps? Well, I don't think that quite works out the way I would want it to. So there's no once per turn I didn't mean to click that. I was trying to right click that. There's no once per turn constraint on receive tribute. So if you meet the condition with 10 money and 2 buys or 15 and 3 buys, you could buy this multiple times and then just get all the action cards. Not all the action cards you don't have to pick up and play. And I thought I was gonna hit that here. The trouble is I've only gained one thing so far this turn off of my single modify. So even if I bought one copper with my third buy, I wouldn't be able to trigger receive tribute twice because that would only be 2 gains. But I could do something like copper plus a 5 plus receive tribute. I could always hold off one more turn and go for the like double receive tribute next turn. That doesn't seem hard to do. Is that better than just clicking it immediately? I don't know. I'm gonna be greedy. I don't know if this is sensible or not. Looking at the starting hand, it has quite a high potential of burning me. Yep. Mistakes were made. Sad to say. I'll set aside that. Hmm. One of these should be a contract, because this contract is not going to be in my deck next turn. So I want to replace that. Yeah, I think I might have gotten a little bit greedy there, for being totally honest. I'll go ahead and resolve this. I don't need to call Desert Guides here. Okay, modify one rice cooker into a gold. Trigger that shuffle. Modify a second thing. Make sure this is going to be 10. It's 4 money, plus 3 is 7. Plus 3 is 10. Yeah, that's easily enough. I'll take another litter. Is it feasible for... New plan. Why stop at receiving tribute twice when you can do it thrice? I still need to buy one more thing. Let's click copper. Now it's active. Receive tribute. I'll take artist, town, skirmisher. Artist, town, skirmisher. Artist, town, skirmisher. Now I've got basically everything in my deck. No more receiving tribute on future turns. Okay. I'm not gonna say that was not more trouble than it was worth, but I'm happy that I did it. Okay, this hand is probably satisfactory. These are admittedly not the best artists of all time. Oh god. Yeah, I think I'd have to do this. That was an unfortunate draw there. Let's modify another poet, I guess, into another gold. Trigger shuffle. This one coin. This one coin. Set aside. And I'll probably be winning next turn, I would imagine. So I'll take a few provinces. I should have enough money next turn to buy 3 provinces and enough modifiers to trash and gain 2 provinces. So Even if the bot doesn't take a province, I think I'm threatening a win here. I'll take a skirmisher just to attack them. I notice they don't have any favors, which means they are not quite so immune to the skirmisher attack. And I think just one more Rice Broker seems like a very impactful card to have on a final turn. You cannibalize stuff for draw, kick off the turn. Province, a duchy, and an estate. That ain't gonna cut a hard bot. Alrighty, gonna crash a skirmisher, I guess. Draw a bunch of cards. Draw a bunch more cards. Okay. Can I get away with trashing any of these golds? I don't have enough actions to play this last town. For a village. I definitely could have played this turn out a little bit cleaner, I think. This is going to be a win regardless. But in the interest of maximizing my points, I got 7 money already. Plus 4 from coppers is 11. Plus 3 from the silver is 14. Plus the first gold would get you to 18. So yeah, I only need 1 gold in the deck to hit double province. If I were shorter on money, what I would do is just trash province into province to lower the provinces. You score fewer points that way, but you still end the game. Okay. I like this kingdom. I don't know that I played it quite perfectly. Uh, this is a good kingdom for receive tribute, I think. You kind of have to play around it a bit. I don't know if I did that right, but I think if you do it right, there's a good payoff to be had here. Oh, what did Hardbot end up doing? Okay. I mean, it's hard to say like this is wrong because like all the cards in the kingdom, except for Merchant Camp, I think, are worth clicking, and so you can't point to any particular card that seems wrong here. But it feels like Hardbot should have more in the deck at this point. Uh, in fairness, I did have the 5-2, which is a great split, and Hardbot did not. Poet. Ah, I think maybe this isn't a bad choice. I think probably Poet Silver um, looks a little bit better to me. I'd rather conserve your starting favor. You're probably not hitting double fives. Actually, you're definitely not hitting double fives off Poet Silver. It's impossible. Um, you'd most likely hit 5-4. So Poet Silver turn 1, turn 2, and then on turn 3 and turn 4, you'll hit 4 once and 5 once, most likely. Call the Desert Guides on your $4 hand, then you get the 5 and get back around to it more quickly. I think the risk of Desert Guides turn 2 is you're triggering a shuffle that just has a Poet in it and no silver. That's not guaranteed to get you to 5. So I think the opening is slightly suboptimal, but it does get to modify anyway. Takes another Poet. Takes another Poet. Doesn't find its modify. Looks like it bottom decks. Rice Broker. I don't know. Poets plus a modify plus a right broker. Seems like a reasonable set of early game buys. I'm not sure. Maybe this is just I had better draws. Plus, I'm also player 1, as one always is in the daily.